All right, race fans, we are back after a huge weekend of racing over the Labor Day weekend. Episode 274 being brought to you, of course, by Impact Health Sharing, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first, as always, Ryan Aho here, and my former right-hand man, former crew chief, former track champion up at the Proctor Speedway, a man of mystery there. We got Changa in the house today. How's Changa doing?
Well, I don't know where the mystery comes from. I'm not
There's
very
a lot of
mysterious.
mystery. There's a lot of mystery. So,
Oh,
what it says danger. Bert, it says danger right on his shirt. That
danger, ass
literally
whooping
means
coming.
you hang around Changa. You just kind of got to watch yourself because you just
No,
don't know
no,
what's coming.
ass whooping coming.
Ass
The
whooping
last
coming
time you had that shirt on,
ass whooping coming in the pretty and pink car.
That's right. That thing is beautiful.
yeah. The last time you had that shirt on, he got his ass whooped literally at Cedar Lake. So
he's won it. Well, he's won like
the
4
last time
times
you
in
had
a
it on
row
the
that
show.
I've worn it.
All right. We'll see how she goes. And former editor of Full Throttle Magazine, race fan extraordinaire, former tear-off expert on MJ McBride's ride. We got Bert Lehman. How's Bert doing today?
Doing all right.
All right, just all right.
Well, no,
he's already depressed because football's coming and pack. I get it. I understand.
I'm riding high on that. We got Micah Parsons coming in. So I shouldn't say we. I'm not on the team. The Packers have Micah Parsons coming in.
They actually sent him to the same massage therapist that was recommended by either Robert Kraft or Deshaun Watson. I'm not really sure to kind of help with that tightening in his back. So they're going to take good care of old Micah Parsons up there. But Impact Health Sharing, of course, the number one sponsor on our show, primary sponsor. If you are a person that pays for your own health insurance, whether you are an individual, a couple, a family, small business, if you have employees, whatever it may be, if you look at your bottom line every single month and you're like, man, I'm paying too much, you're afraid to maybe go to the doctor because the deductibles are high. Changa, we've talked about this, right? We know people that are like, yeah, I might get health insurance, but holy shit, my deductible's through the goddamn roof. And health insurance is great, but I got to pay thousands of dollars before I even get any coverage anyway. So that is an absolute crazy reason to not go to the doctor, but it's a real reason people don't go to the doctor, because if they don't have enough money to pay the deductible, they're like, what am I going to do? Very, very affordable deductibles. You're looking at $2,500 for the whole family. So if you got a big household, that is not a big dollar amount compared to a lot of things out there. I've heard of people paying $4 or $5 grand individually for deductibles. This is a lot better. So give me a call, 218-969-1380, or message me on Facebook, text me, whatever you want to do. I can get you a quick, no obligation quote and see what Impact Health Sharing can do for you, help you keep some money in your pocket. So this past weekend, I know neither of you went to any races. I invited Changa. He don't love me anymore. Either that or he's afraid to get beat up in Hibbing. He is 99-0, not sure what he's scared of. But the fact is, I did go up to the Labor Day shootout. Last minute decision. I was thinking maybe Proctor to the silver, made the trip up. Changa, you watched pretty much the whole event from the Labor Day shootout both days. You watched a lot of it. Let's just give a real quick. I have my perspective from being there in person. You have your perspective from being there, watching online. And Bert, you didn't watch the Labor Day shootout, so you can just kind of watch us here. You can listen to us. So, well, Changa, give us your good.
I'm actually looking forward to hearing the recap from those races. So.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to do that here. So, Changa, give me your good, your bad, and your ugly. We won't get into the race recap necessarily. We'll save that maybe for that when we get into each individual class, unless there's something specific you want to shout out. But give me the good, bad, and ugly from the Labor Day shootout this past weekend up at the Hibbing Speedway.
Well, the good would be some really good finishes in a handful of them features there. Guys getting moved out of the way for the win or getting passed for a win late in races. The track being pretty wide and pretty racy for some of them features. The bad, I guess, would be the second day late model feature taking rubber halfway. And of course, the ugly would be the guy that got hurt on the four wheeler there, or then he flipped off the four wheeler. So
Yeah, Bert, there was an accident in the Hornet class. Kid got up over the top of the back straightaway, got into they got tires down there, big tires. There's a wall kind of off the track. I believe the track worker, I think that was his grandkid, he goes flying over there on a wheeler, jumps over the banking, and it's kind of soft down there, and the front tire's hooked, and he went over the freaking handlebars, and I guess he broke 4 ribs. So he got busted up pretty darn good. Lucky it wasn't a whole lot worse, but ended up being a huge delay. So the good, I will say this, is that place got an absolute ton of flack all year long. And I get it. Some of it was warranted, right? Because the track hasn't been fantastic as a fan. From a fan's perspective, I'll take a little bit of character, a little bit of mud, a little bit of that over bone dry from a fan's perspective. But driver's perspective, they're like, hard on equipment, it was rough. Guys, they got a lot of rain all summer. I mean, literally, it seemed like every freaking week it rained. So there was that, plus the last minute decision to completely redo the track. But the track, there wasn't a bump in it. The track was smooth as could be. Labor Day shootout. Normally, Labor Day shootout, traditionally, right? And a lot of people quit coming because of it. Bone dry, dusty, no passing. Literally, people that don't belong winning races because of where they started. The racing was good. I mean, literally, every race. It don't matter where you go. There's going to be some races you're like, that one wasn't very good. It just is what it is. When you got 5 classes of cars, there's going to be a handful of the races you're like, on to the next one. The majority of the races, there was slide jobs galore. There was a top, a bottom, a middle. They were moving all over the racetrack, and there was several different unique lines, and people won races on the top, the middle, on the bottom. I gotta say, the track prep crew did a pretty darn bang up job keeping that place good. Yes, it took rubber the second half of the feature on day 2, but the first half of the feature, there was multiple lead changes, slide jobs thrown. It was good till that point. So I think the track was good. The fan count was better than expected. The car count was better than expected, and the atmosphere, there just seemed like there was a little bit more pop this year, especially on day 1. So I just think they did a good job, and credit to Barry and the whole staff over there on a job well done at this year's Labor Day shootout. The bad, I got to be honest with you, there is still no reason, okay, as good as it was, right? There's still no reason to start races at 5 o'clock unless you're Boone, which we're watching, and you got 30 heat races in multiple classes. Then you need to start a little early. Racing, I mean, it was dang near 80 degrees, clear skies, right? I mean, it was beautiful out. The 5 o'clock start time, you got to race too much against the sun. And I think that if they just push that back, say an hour and a half, 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock start time, I think they'd still get done at the same time, but they'd have to do less track prep in between with watering, because I hear people say there's still too many laps with the water truck, still too much off time. If there was a critique, that would be it. And the ugly, and I get it. It's year 1, and Barry said from the get-go it's going to be a multiple year project. The place looks abandoned. I mean, it literally, aesthetically, right? It literally looks like you just built a racetrack in the middle of the desert in Arizona and said, bam, here, go around these tires and we're going to call track. That's what it looks like. The infield looks awful, and I get it. They completely did a bunch of stuff before the season, and I'm going to kind of cut them some slack. Hopefully it looks better next year, but it just looks like a complete desert. My OCD kicked in, right? Tires are on the bottom. You got one big one small one medium one. They're all black, half painted. It's like, let's make the place look good. I believe that's in the plans for next year. Probably going to start working on that in the off season, but that would be literally the ugly aesthetically at the Hibbing Speedway. So overall, it was a good event. Bert, did you see the little Facebook Live I did on day one up there when I got there?
I saw part of it. Yes.
Not the preview from day two with Puka, the one the day before.
Oh no, I didn't see that one. I saw part of the one with you and Puka.
Okay, so donkey award to Bert here, Changa. Donkey award to Bert. So Bert, I went and I got myself a $15 Dairy Queen gift card. Okay, so Pogo, I don't want to call him the head of whistle detecting because he's not. Probably the most visible. He's the guy that goes to a lot of tracks. He's kind of like the main acting tech guy in a lot of areas. So he was up there this weekend, right? Got a hold of Pogo, said, "Hey, you up here? Yep. Hey, meet me up front." I pulled him off to the side, gave him a $15 Dairy Queen gift card. I said, "All right, you fucking DQ'd 4 people on Friday. That's enough of this bullshit. All right, that's enough of this. Okay, there's been enough DQs going on. This is the only DQ you need the rest of the weekend up here. All right, that's it." And he's like, $15, you're a cheap ass. Like, I could, what are you doing with that? I'm like, you're on a diet. You're losing weight. You're looking a lot better. You don't need more than that, right? Bert, guess how many DQs there were between day one and day two combined 5 classes at the Labor Day shootout?
0.
0. That's fucking right. 0, right? That's a hat tip right there to Pogo. He must have enjoyed the hell out of that Dairy Queen. I do that more often. He did not mess with people. He did not ruin a good event. It worked out great. Not so much in Superior. Incidentally, Rapids, I don't remember the driver's name. There was a guy, I believe in the BMOD class, that did not have his rev box hooked up, which is basically limits how many RPMs you can turn. DQ'd. Get this. He got 6th in the race. He didn't even finish in the top 5. He didn't even need to go to scales, right? He got 6th. Well, they're like, well, you're here. We're going to check you anyway. Well, that ended up being a $500 fine, 30-day suspension, but he paid double. So it cost him $1,000 so he could race the Labor Day shootout.
Man.
Back in, there was another track, allegedly, and I heard this from a pretty good source, that they caught 3 drivers that didn't have the rev box hooked up on night 1 of a 2-day show. And the promoter says, night 1, let's just kind of make sure everybody's right for night 2. They gave everybody fix-it tickets.
No.
That's interesting. I get fix-it tickets for bodies and different stuff like that, but for a rev box, now I don't know if the guys won or not, but that was from a reliable source. That's kind of a slippery slope there. Superior, though, night number 1 of the weekend, right? Wednesday, Challenge Series, Twin 25s, hat tip right there to Troy and Jonathan Powers, because that's been a great event for a long time. They were worried the car count was going to be light. Car count ended up being good. Mod count was light, but the late model count was good. And Challenge Series battles tight going into that week. So going into the week, Shane Sobraski had I don't remember exactly how many point lead. I want to say like a dozen, maybe something like that, over Moss and I think Moss and Jeff Provenzino might have been tied, maybe, or within a couple. Going into that, Kevin Eater was in the hunt. Sobraski wins his heat. DQ'd post-race tech deck height. Challenge Series point leader. Challenge Series point. Now, 3 other drivers got DQ'd. Kevin Burdick, I think maybe Frank. I think Gunnar Frank maybe. Joel Bennett, I was told his was not deck height. I was told it was something else. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't a major infraction that's going to be a suspension or anything like that. It was a DQ for race type deal. But what happened then is Sobraski gets disqualified along with the other people. Burdick, I believe, won his heat. Sobraski had to come through the B. He ends up getting 16th place, loses a point lead. Now, Pogo was one of the tech guys there. He wasn't the only tech guy. And a few of us were talking. It's like, you realize Sobraski's car owner is also Pogo's kid's primary sponsor, right? So anybody out there that's like, he's freaking favoritism and this, clearly not. Clearly not. Because if there was going to be favoritism, you're not going to DQ your kid's primary sponsor's car. Ain't going to happen. He did. Right. So you got to give him credit. He DQ'd everybody, and tough break. tough break for Sabraski because, guys, he went on over the weekend, and I'll put somebody else on my dud list, right? But in the late model, he was unbelievable in the mod and the super. But Sabraski, the point leader going in, he had the horrible night of starting off with the DQ. Then he goes to the silver 1000 quick time. It's a good way to start off the night, wouldn't you think, Bert? Fourth in the heat, 15th in the feature. Quick time to fourth in the heat, 15th in the feature. Not good. Then on Friday at Rapids, he started on the pole, went backwards, got second. Saturday, started outside pole, went backwards, got third. Sunday, started on the pole, went backwards, got third. People are like, that DQ is going to cost him the championship. I don't know. I mean, you get fast time, you get 15th, you go backwards 3 nights in a row. He's only 7 points back. If he just kind of maintains where he started, he's the point leader. So rough. As great of a weekend as it was for the 7A, and don't get me wrong, a second, third, and third is freaking solid, right? That's 3 podium finishes at invites. You don't see 7A go backwards very often. It's not a thing. And he's down by 7 points, 2 nights to go in the Structural Buildings WISSOTA Late Model Challenge Series at Dave Moss's home track. Dave Moss, darn good race car driver anywhere, right? But he's exceptionally good on his home turf, which is I-94 Speedway in Fergus Falls for the WISSOTA 100. So Moss has a 7-point lead over Sabraski, 17 over Jeff Provenzino, and 36 over Kevin Eater. And solid week. The cream kind of rose to the top. All of them guys had good runs this past weekend, but what do you think? How big of a factor? I mean, let's face it, that's 0 points in the heat, right? So 0 points in the heat, and you get 16th in the feature, which Moss actually won at Superior. So that is 16, 17 points. Probably that's 26, 27 points right there, or 20, 25 or 26 points. Is this going to cost Sabraski the challenge series? What do you think?
Very well could. I mean, it remains to be seen. I would expect Shane will be, 2 shows down at I-94. He runs good down there too. So I would expect he's going to put up a fight and make this thing interesting yet.
And there'll probably be 40, 50 cars there anyway, right? So, I mean, a lot can happen, but it's going to be interesting because, Bert, did you see the format for the WISSOTA 100 this week or this year, a couple weeks out?
No, I did not.
Tuesday night is practice for the 100, okay?
Okay.
But on practice night, they're filtering in late model races, and they're going to have heats, B-main feature. They're going to run a full challenge series show on frickin' practice night of the 100. Now, it is what it is, right? Every track. How many times have you seen a exceptionally good racetrack on a practice night?
You make a good point there, and they probably don't put in the top quality track prep that they would, if it was going to be a complete show being run on there. My question, was this scheduled, or is this something that they just added?
Scheduled at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So they're running Tuesday and Wednesday challenge series show on the WISSOTA 100 week.
Okay.
And it is what it is. I mean, we'll see how it turns out. I mean, the jury's still out. It's hard to critique it until we see it in action. But the fact of the matter is, as a racer that was always kind of a broke racer, I would think the WISSOTA 100 should be one less day, not one more day. So that's kind of an interesting deal there. But boy, I hope that they have a good racing surface for the whole week, but for the challenge series final 2 races. There's 4 drivers there that are sitting pretty good, that have had good years. The pessimistic side of me, right, is like, practice night's always a shitty, dry, marbly, terrible track. I would be surprised if it's any different. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. Are you a little skeptical when you hear that, Changa?
Nope. It's a challenge series race.
No?
They're going to do track prep for it, and it's the first night. They'll do track prep for a challenge series.
Well, I can tell you last year they sure as fuck didn't. So Mr. Opinionated Changa is kind of, he's a little bit of a Sally on the show. He doesn't like
I
to give
didn't
his
say
opinion at all.
you asked for an opinion. I gave you one.
Politically correct Changa. We're gonna get him a new shirt.
I wasn't politically correct. I said, yes, it's going to be good. I'm choosing not to be the pessimist.
You're all right. You're way more optimistic than me. 150 to 200 cars practicing. I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see. So some drama in the world of Outlaw Sprint cars. Bert, did you see that?
Yes,
Sheldon
I did read about
Haudenschild?
that. Yes.
So a couple weeks back, was this a heat race or what race was it?
I feel like it was the feature, wasn't it?
It might have been. Might have been the feature. A race. It was at River Cities. He's leading the race, and I believe he gets together with a lapper, ends up spun around in the infield. No yellow. They let him sit there. As a racer, I would have been fuming, pissed, probably would have did something on the order of what he did. But he goes and gets after it with the track official, right? Literally grabs the guy's helmet because they all wear helmets, shakes him so hard that he broke his glasses. 1 year probation, $500 fine. Guys, he was already on fucking probation. Last year, he threw a helmet on the middle of a racetrack because they did the same thing to him. He was already on a year probation, right? And his helmet bringing out a yellow. And should he have been suspended here?
I mean, I think this is definitely a case where they're not gonna punish one of their regulars and to prevent them from racing. They need their regulars to be at the show, so they're not going to suspend them. But I agree. I mean, if he wasn't on probation already from last year, then I could see, maybe just go with probation, whatnot. But he was already on probation. I mean, what more does a guy have to do to break your probation?
Yeah, I mean, a different scenario, right? Different class, but still World Racing Group. Tyler Erb, a couple years, however many years ago it was, he had the nose-to-nose incident and kind of bumped into a track or the series director that fell over. He gets a whole year off from all World Racing Group, not just World of Outlaw, all World Racing Group events, a whole year. And that was deemed assaulting an official also, right? I get it, different group of people because it's a late model group. But, I mean, can you imagine, Changa, in WISSOTA Racing, if you're just allowed to put hands on an official and let's just be honest, every one of us racers has had times where we're like, if I could fucking punch that guy right now, if I could choke slam that guy, and you're thinking in your mind, I'll lose all my points, I'll get suspended from WISSOTA. Can you just imagine for a minute if all they gave you in WISSOTA was a $500 fine and a year probation if you assaulted an official?
We would have had sponsors paying us to punch officials.
Dude, Pogo, you better not go to the racetrack ever again if that's the case. Like, just don't even go anymore. Just stay home. He will never fuck with the Hornet class ever again if that was the case. He would literally be like, nope, I'm good. You're perfectly legal. It's all super tune. Looks good to me. You're good. You're good.
Is there another angle to this too? Like, is the World of Outlaws afraid of losing one of their, I guess we'd call them a premier driver?
I was just going to say that.
To the other series that they don't ever tell you what it is, but the other series, are they, if it was Joe Shit the Ragman, would have been different, but this is one of their, what you would consider premier drivers, marketable drivers. Boy,
who's the sponsor?
Right, NOS Energy or something, or
who's the sponsor of the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series?
There you go.
Just saying, right? So, and they did have precedent because there was somebody that did something similar a year ago. I don't remember who it was, got a similar deal, but I don't believe that person was on probation. Changa, you're 100% right. If they suspend him, right, all he would have to say is, I'm suspended. Well, whatever. Good enough. I guess High Limit's got another guy. It's that simple. So now they're operating out of fear, right? Rather than just doing the right thing. And yeah, I just pictured in my mind, I'm like, man, if you could literally just assault an official or whatever any way you want and not have repercussions for it, wow. Wow. Whether it's on the track level or on the series level or whatever it may be, that would be a shit show. Let's just be honest. That would be a bad deal, probably for a lot of people. Some other interesting tech stuff. So I talked to a tech guy today. He reached out. So you remember, right? We won't say who. We'll keep that person
Oh
under.
no, we're
So,
we're having a different conversation here.
oh,
We're discussing how a-hole wanting to get this
you,
done quick. Just going blah 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 blah.
yeah,
It's like 8:07.
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I do have a draft. What time is it?
We have
All right,
1 hour.
So, all right, interesting tech stuff. So remember a couple years ago or last year, Cade Dillard wins the big deal mod race, fails deck height, right? Because over indexed the left rear bird cage, and they let him unindex it and then remeasured he was good, right? Well, some chassis builders have caught on and they're like, we're going to over index our stuff. We're going to do that. Well, then they basically all came out with the same rule, all the series, and they said, if you over index your stuff, we're just going to measure your deck height. You're going to be illegal. We're not going to let you unindex it. So there was a chassis builder out there that they put a bushing on the left rear to basically, when it over indexed, it would actually hit that bushing and limit it so it didn't over index. Well, now WISSOTA decided that's no longer legal.
Oh,
So that, I don't even know why this is a rule anyway, right? So if they already have the deck height, if you over index, and Bert, what that means is a bird cage flips and it locks the left rear up in the air. Okay. So it kind of holds the car just stuck up. That's all it is. Sticks the left rear up. Well, all you got to do is, if they have a deck height rule, which I'm not a fan of, I don't like the deck height rule, but it's there. If you over index, you're going to fail deck height. Why even have the over indexing rule if you already have the other rule in place? What does it matter? So it's just kind of WISSOTA putting rules in place for no apparent reason. And some of the people I talked to were like, it's extremely unnecessary is what it is. So, but needless to say, there's a specific chassis builder out there that was trying to find a way to manipulate that, and it was working. And it was a gray area, which hats off. You're supposed to try to play within the gray areas. That's how innovation happens. But WISSOTA stepped up and saying that's no longer allowed. So keep an eye on some local chassis that maybe have been running pretty good. We'll see if this slows them down. I'm going to say probably won't, but we'll keep an eye out over the next 2 weeks and go from there. So let's jump into the studs and duds. But first, shout out Brad Parson Soil and Ag Solution. Harvest time is here, right? Money making time for all you farmers out there right now. This is a time that you want to make a lot of money. Well, you're hoping to have incredible yields. Well, the best way to have really good yields is obviously you need cooperation from Mother Nature, but also you want to have the right stuff in those spray packages. Why not give Brad Parson a call? His number 320-219-3542 to learn about all the different products they have. Get those data points. You're going to be sitting out there anyway. You're on the combine. You're out there doing your thing. Perfect time to call him up and just pick his brain a little bit to learn about all the great products they have. That's Brad Parson Soil and Ag Solution. So let's jump into it. All right, we'll go national. We're going to work our way down. We're going to go Bert. We're going to go Changa. We're going to go me. National scene. Give us your stud. Give us your dud. Bert.
Stud, I'm going to World of Outlaw sprint cars. I'm going with David Gravel. I believe one of my bold predictions last week that he would not be on the podium at all in those 3 races, and he finished on the podium in all 3 races. He's actually finished in the top 5 in every race he's raced in since August 8th. So he's my stud for the week. And dud for the week, we've already talked it. I'm going to go with the whole World of Outlaw sprint car organization for the slap on the hand for Hot Child.
Yeah, spot on that one. All right, Chonga, what do you got?
You want me to leave you the one you sent me? Because we both had it on our list.
Do you have another one other than
Well,
that?
my other one was exactly what Bert said, but there was
just go with what you got. Go with what you got. I can make it work.
My shout out was going to be David Gravel. He's got 14 straight top fives, right? Doing what David Gravel does. He's got, Macedo's been going crazy lately. Kofoid's been going crazy lately, and they can't gain a damn point on this guy because he's never out of the top five, right? But yeah, I mean, he's got a 14 race top five streak, and he had a 21 straight streak ended earlier in the year. So yeah, all he does is get top fives. But my stud was going to be Rico. I felt like that one was pretty obvious. 3 races out at Skagit last week, 7th to 1st, 7th to 1st, 3rd to 1st, turned a 75-point deficit into a 10-point lead. So what more could he have done, right? So Rico's the stud.
I got to be honest with you. I watched 2 of those 3 races, right? It literally looked like he was racing a 410 sprint car against 360s. It was that much of it. I'm like, how is he so much faster? I mean, Bert, he drove the wheels off that thing. He was banging the berm. He drove with so much confidence. And you know why he had so much confidence? Because we put him on the dud list last week. And then he automatically, bam, bam, bam. That's what happens, right? And but he was like a man possessed. He was a man amongst boys out at Skagit and flat out dominated the Skagit Nationals out there. So hell of a weekend for Rico. Who's your dud?
My dud's Brad Sweet. Brad Sweet goes out to Skagit last weekend, gets a strong 17th, 13th, and 19th. Falls from first in the points down, or he was first in the points. Now he's 35 points back in second in the driver's points and third in the owner's points, or vice versa. Probably second in the owner's points, third in the driver's points.
And he'll 5th place you to death, so he's still in the hunt for this thing because he's consistent. But man, I would rather see Rico win this deal. I think a lot of people would. Nothing against Brad Sweet because he put on a hell of a bikini contest out there, so we still gotta like him for that. My studs of the week as a group: drivers that capitalize on cool tribute cars for merchandising purposes and like the World 100, right? And we'll kind of have a little bit of a list next week on what we thought was super cool, but just a few before the scene that stuck out. I mean, Chonga's favorite car, T-Max, got a tribute to his dad. Chonga just whining about that. That car's ugly, hates it, right? You got a picture of it right there. You like that one, the red, white, and blue?
Yeah, the other one.
That one's way better.
Yeah, he's got the yellow.
Well,
so T-Max got a tribute car. Bobby Pierce go ahead, Bert.
I was just going to say what's really cool about the T-Mac car. I mean, I love retro, so I love the T-Mac car, but they even put the rub bar in the graphic because those big black mods, they have the rub bar and they included that in the graphics. So that's cool. Pretty cool.
It was pretty well thought out for sure. And then, Bobby Pierce, of course, Abby, I'm guessing probably said, "Hey, I want something hot pink, and maybe I like flames." And he's
they've always had the neon lights shirts because she always wants the neon. Now he did
the neon. Yep. So
that thing's got a lot of detail.
Yep, and hot pink, and it's bright as can be. And Turbo did a really cool deal. We'll talk more about that next week. We'll put some pictures up online, or Bert can maybe round up some pictures, send them over, and then I'll post them or whatever. But he actually, I don't remember where he went. It was he had some kind of treatment. Was that a cancer deal when he was younger? I'm not really sure.
I believe it had something.
I don't know the story behind. I'll do some research and
we'll do some research. But let's just say that Turbo had a super cool tribute car that had to do with a children's hospital of some kind, and that he was there, and he actually sent the body panels there, and they colored on them, and they kind of arted them all up, and that kind of stuff's cool. But the genius behind this whole thing is every one of these drivers, now they have a whole new array of hats, shirts, hoodies, die-cast cars, right? So they're going to capitalize on this marketing, and there's nobody better in the business, 1A and 1B or 1 and 2, right? Bobby Pierce's program and Turbos are the two top out of all of them. And you can pick which one you like better, but both of them do a hell of a job, and they're going to make a lot of money off this deal for sure. My dud going to be Hot Sauce Giovanni Scelzi, right? Because he looked good the week before. He goes out to Skagit. He's non-existent. I kind of had to look through there. I'm like, was he even there? Well, he was there, but he wasn't there. I mean, he was terrible out there. I expected more from him, so much so that I picked him in my pick'ems. That did not work. So Hot Sauce, we're going to put that down as maybe too much Cool Ranch on top of that thing to cool him down. He was not so hot out at Skagit. All right, let's go late models, local late models. Bert, Changa, me.
All right, there wasn't much late model racing in eastern Wisconsin last weekend. Actually, only one race at Shawano. Brett Swedberg won the feature, so I'll go with him for the stud of the week. Dud of the week. They did have 14 late models at Shawano, so compared to what they had the rest of the year, that was very good. But it's always special to race at the fair, so I'm going to go. The duds are those who decided not to come to Eastern cars, not who didn't come to Shawano to race during the fair.
Fair enough. All right, Changa.
My local late model stud, I'm going to go with Dave Moss. He won at Gondik, and he won. I believe he won at Gondik and he won at Rapids. He had a 6th at the Silver 1000. 4th day 1 at Labor Day. He did get a 14th day 2 at Labor Day, but he raced that lead and created a lead for himself. So a couple of really tough, big car count stacked fields that he performed very, very well in. So I'll go Dave Moss as my stud.
And he took over the point lead, right?
Yep.
We got 2 nights to go in the structural building with Soda Late Model Challenge Series. So
my dud, I'm going to go.
He's a good one. The top 4 super stock drivers. I'm just going to go ahead and point that out. All 4 of them guys, super stock guys.
Fair enough. So my dud, I'm going to go Kevin Burdick. Goes to Superior, gets DQ'd in the heat, pulls off in the B main at Gondik there, and then he got a solid 3rd at Proctor, and then he goes 10th, 17th, and 11th at Rapids and Hibbing over the weekend. So just not performing well at home this year where usually he does. So I'm gonna go Kevin Burdick, my dud of the week.
That was a rough week for the Dirty 30 for sure. So on the late models, well, I'm gonna go. I'll go like this. The race of the week was Kevin Eater, 10th to 1st. Now it says 11th to 1st, but bad luck for Joel Bennett. I don't know if you saw that, Bert. Joel Bennett was supposed to start on the pole night number 1 of the Labor Day shootout. I'm not sure what happened. I didn't follow up on it. Car wouldn't start. Scratched, didn't get to start the race. So then crisscross applesauce and Eater's outside row number 5. So he started 10th, but he drove he just patient. I think Eater, I think high side hustler, he was rolling right around the bottom with precision. He looked incredibly good, and he went on to win, and in impressive fashion, because there was a hell of a battle up front before that, swapping for the lead. But looking at it, it wasn't just that race for Eater. He got a 4th, 5th, 4th, 1st, and an 8th. So his bad run, 5 Challenge Series shows, 4 of them in the top 5. That's a good week for Kevin Eater. Got to shout out Kyle Peterlin, 6th Labor Day shootout win in the late model. I mean, I think all of them have been in the last 5 years. Kyle Peterlin, when Labor Day shootout happens, he is 100% somebody that you got to just automatically count on that he's going to contend for the win. Jeff Provenzino, he's got a Labor Day shootout win. It was 8-9 years ago, but how about a pair of seconds? Drove by the 7A twice to get it done too. So Provenzino, a solid weekend at Hibbing. And then Ashley Anderson, he had the best average finish at the Twin 25s. He got second in the first one, started in the front row, but they did the invert, and he came from deep to get second in the second one, and then he goes on to win. He won the Silver 1000. Of course, he didn't come up north. He just does not do that anymore. I expect to see him next week. But Ashley Anderson, a hell of a week. So there's several drivers right there. The dud, we already talked about Sabraski, kind of had a rough but not rough week, lost a point lead. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I want to give it to all the Wisconsin cars like Pat Noor, Jake Radetsky, all these guys that didn't come up to Hibbing, for the Labor Day shootout. They just sat home and watched TV or whatever it is they did. But I think I'm going to give it to TPO, Tyler Peterson. It's my dud of the week, okay? He did get a win. He did get a win at Casino, and not all his fault. But, Bert, there was some drama. There was some drama going into the John Sites. So he probably should have won 3. Okay. He's leading at Grand Forks on Friday night, NLRA race, right? And restart comes out. Dustin Strand throws a haymaker coming off 2, comes up the racetrack, kisses him in the side, right side romance in the back straightaway. And you go off the banking there, so you got to kind of turn left to make sure you don't go off the track out into the pit area. And when the car snapped loose on him after the contact, he spins out getting into 3, TPO to the back. He was the race leader. Okay. He was pissed. Now, I had many people reaching out to me, right? And watching on your phone, you can see so much. For sure, there was contact. It ain't even a debate. There was contact, right? TPO fans are like, how the hell does he get put to the back when he clearly got drove into by Strand, right? And then the Strand fans are like, well, why the hell would they blame Strand? He made contact coming out of 2. He spun out getting into 3. How was that his fault? You can watch it for yourself and decide what you think. It's on Dirt Race Central. Watch, they had really good coverage of it. They probably have it. There might even be a clip possibly on Facebook. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. But let's just say that he goes on to win the modified feature, and he called him out. He said, Karma's a bitch. You're going to find Karma's coming next week, right? At the sites. They're going to see each other this week. And then he calls out the flagman. I want to thank the flagman, right? Basically for the bad, in his mind, the bad call. I would have did that too. That's probably why the flagman didn't really like me, because I had a big mouth. Still do, right? Still do. But the fact is, I don't know that was a good idea, right? I don't know that you call out the flagman. It just does not work out in your favor when the flagman is a flag guy at the other guy's home track. That's not a good idea. So heated. There's already rivals. There's some tension. Then he goes to Brown County. He's leading the race, and I'm telling you right now, the disparity in speed in late models between the 10 good cars at each track and the 10 slowest cars at each track is like literally running crate late models against late models. He got into a group of lappers, and they kind of all got jumbled up, and they were going half the speed as him, and their contact was made. Bam, he gets put to the back again. So yeah, then he redeemed himself. He came from, I think he started 7th at Casino, didn't he? And drove by them guys to win. Drove by Becker and whatever.
Pass or something, yeah.
But let's just say this, right? If you want ultimate drama, you need to tune in to the sites this week. It's already one of the best, might be the best late model event there is in Wissota, right? That drama between 2 of the absolute premier Wissota late model guys, right? Dustin Strand, Tyler Peterson. There's going to be some tension. I kind of have my doubts on them parking anywhere near each other. And keep in mind, they'll see each other in the mods and in the lates all weekend long. That is worth watching this weekend. All right, let's jump into the modifieds. Bert.
I just have one stud and then just a comment for Dud. I'm going with Johnny Whitman for the stud of the week. He raced at Shawano Speedway this week, which he doesn't normally do, but 141 was off, and he started 12th and drove it up to 2nd. So good run for him at Shawano. And then I just have to make a comment because I put Mike Whittlestat on the dud list several times this year, at least twice, maybe even more than that. And last time he was on the dud list, he had a streak of DNFs that was, I don't know, like 7, 8 races or so. Guess where he finished? He raced at the Hill in Sturgeon Bay this last week. Guess where he finished?
Did he win?
He won. So I got
It finally worked. It finally worked.
So, if you put him on the dud list, you have to recognize him when he goes out there and wins. So, congratulations to him.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Changa, who do you got? Studs and duds.
Modifieds, I guess I got a couple of shout outs. I want to Brady Gertis raced 3 nights last week, I-94, Viking and Viking, right? Second, right? Awesome job. If Dusty Bitson hadn't been there and got first, we'd probably be arguing him as the stud of the week, right? But I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to go with Jody Belfi as my stud of the week. The guy didn't win a race all weekend, right? But he's racing at some, rather than regular nights, he's racing at some invites. Got a photo finish, second place to Daryl Nelson at Gondik. That was a great race. Got a very close second at Proctor to Andrew Inman. That was a good race. Went to Rapids, got third. First day in Hibbing, he goes 24th to 5th. And then the second day in Hibbing got third. So good stretch of invite racing there for Jody, and he has shown that he's consistently got speed pretty much everywhere he goes. So Jody's going to be the stud of the week.
Yeah, he's consistently fast always, and he's not typically a banger. A few years back, if he was racing against a 37, maybe then there was a little bit of it, but Jody Belfi's always got sweet looking shit, keeps it that way, and you can pretty much count on him being a podium guy almost every night, so hats off to Jody Belfi. How about Dud?
Well, let's see. I gotta put this right. So my dud, I went with Tyler Kittner, and the reason why is that, I picked him this weekend. I picked him to go to Hibbing and do something. No, maybe I didn't pick him. No, but anyhow, regardless, he had been running really good up north there, and I don't remember. That was last week, right? But anyhow,
you picked Sabraski, you liar.
Yeah, I did pick Sabraski. So anyhow, he doesn't go to Proctor, right? So he doesn't go to Proctor, doesn't go to Rapids, and then he goes to Hibbing, gets an 11th and a 12th after he's kind of been up there, the top guy all summer. So I'm gonna go Tyler Kittner as my dud.
Yeah, that's fair. So I got a couple shout outs. I got to start with a big shout out here, Andrew Inman. We parked by him for several years at the Proctor Speedway. Of course, he lost his dad, Steve, who was, they've been friends of ours forever. We've known, hell, the whole Inman family's been friends of ours forever. Parked next to him as he was cutting his teeth, racing against his dad, and of course against Lauren in the B-Mod too. And he wins the biggest race of the year. If you're a Proctor guy, the biggest race of the year, the granddaddy of them all, Silver 1000, he goes on to win it. Emotional win. And it was one of those deals where Jody Belfi, Daryl Nelson get second and third, and they kind of have, both of them too have kind of, been around him. They all got MBs, they help him out, and both of them too were just ecstatic that he won. Right. So it was an emotional deal and just super cool. There was a caution, Bert. He's gone, right? He's got fairly comfortable lead. Yellow comes out on the final lap, green, white checkered with Belfi and Nelson behind him. I'm like, oh, fuck. He's screwed. Or was it Belfi and Sabraski? Did Sabraski?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not Nelson. It was Belfi and Sabraski. My bad. And I'm like, yeah, he's screwed. And Sabraski actually wasn't in third on the restart. He capitalized there, and he had an awesome restart and drove on to just parking in victory lane. I couldn't have been happier. That was probably out of all the wins this weekend, that's probably the one that made me smile the most. That was a pretty cool win. I've given a lot of grief to Cole Chernosky all year long about dud, sophomore slump, right? He was terrible. Night number 1 at Hibbing, terrible. Second, though, night 2 of the Labor Day shootout, he looked fast, led a bunch of it. So nice rebound there. Good to see him on the podium. Caden Blazer, he was that far maybe from doubling up on the weekend. He got inside of Blake Adams for the win, night 1 of the Dairyland Dash. Goes on to win night number 2. I've given them a little grief because they kind of run, in my mind, a limited schedule. I'd like to see that MB house car out there 4 or 5 nights a week if possible, but it's not. But that kid is elite level talent. I mean, he is, when they're on their game and he's racing, he's a contender everywhere he goes. Caden Blazer, a great weekend, winning night number 2 of the Dairyland Dash. But the national point battle, Blake Adams had a pretty big lead coming in. Blood in the water. Right? Enter Jaws music because here comes the 7A. 3 straight wins. He wins at Rapids. He wins both nights at Hibbing. And guess what? How far behind do you think he is now? 0. Tied for the national point lead. Blake Adams, Shane Sabraski. Over the weekend, he got career win number 997 and his 15th career record-breaking Labor Day shootout win. So he's my stud. My dud? This is painful. I got to give it to Buzzy. So you're in a national title battle. And I get it. All cars, they should be good. A new car should be good and all that. Frickin' Blake Adams has been dang near unbeatable. He's won like every single weekend. He gets 1, 2, 3 wins, right? He's been on fire. They bring out a brand new car for Labor Day weekend. And he struggled the first couple nights out, and they went up to Thunder Bay, and he struggled. And I don't remember where they went down to Wilmer on Friday.
He rained out in Thunder Bay, then he went to Wilmer.
Yeah, he was in Thunder Bay. For Wednesday, and I'm thinking, well, if he's gonna go anywhere, he'll either stay there and race there Thursday, or he'll go to the Silver Thursday. Nope, they literally drove all the way down to Wilmer with a brand new car and didn't even win. And then they went out the next night on Friday. Where the hell did he go Friday? He went to Rapids, right? He wasn't very great in Rapids, and so I'm like, man, I don't like that new car. Why are you bringing out a new car? Now, he did win night number 2, did not finish on the podium, I don't think, he didn't win night 1 at Dairyland Dash. He didn't do very good. Didn't podium, I don't believe, night number 2. Changa, your thoughts, right? National, I'm OCD, massively OCD. I need a couple nights in a car to feel comfortable and have that confidence that, like, you kind of know what you got, right? Your thoughts in the middle of a national title battle on Labor Day weekend, right? Invitational time, bringing out a brand new car now. Your thoughts on that?
You know, it seems like a bad idea, right? But, you know, I look at these guys now, I'll compare it to like your Longhorn guys in the late models. They pull a brand new one out and like they don't even miss a beat. Well, I'm going to guess that the MB cars are pretty consistent. And I'm going to guess that Buzzy's took a new car out a whole bunch of times and can get it really close really quickly. I don't know. I mean, it might seem like a bad idea, but God, who knows how many shows were on that other one either, you know?
Yeah, and he drives hard, right? So when you look at it and you're like, well, he didn't win, so obviously it was a terrible idea, right? I mean, it just, if he lost, terrible idea. If he wins, oh, shit, that was genius, right? That was a genius idea. So I questioned it, and I chatted with him, guys, and they go win the next night, and he's like, I think we're good. I'm like, fair enough. And then they didn't win the next night, which maybe it wasn't the car, but I guess they have fresh stuff moving forward. Plus, they have a backup car sitting there that they know is good. So maybe he's smarter than I thought. Who am I to question? They're still tied for the national point lead. Nothing against Shane, right? We all like Shane Sabraski, but we want to see that 40D parking in Victory Lane this week. We'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Who will have the point lead after this weekend?
Save that for the bold predictions, maybe. We'll save that. If I was a betting man, I'm gonna kind of lean on the 40D, but we'll see what happens. All right, super stocks. Bert's gonna probably slide on past that one. Yeah. So shout out here though, Fast Lane Motorsports and Powder Coating, of course, the primary sponsor for the Northland Superstock Series. So Chris and the gang, they build the Galloper chassis. They do custom fabricating, powder coating. They do sandblasting. They sell parts They have a beautiful showroom there. They sell parts at several different racetracks, tires, safety equipment, you name it. Anything racing related, get a hold of Chris and the gang at Fastlane Motorsports and Powder Coating right up in Ashland, Wisconsin. And remember, we're just a few short weeks away from the 50th annual Red Clay Classic up there. Changa and I will be in the house. Bert, cliffhanger left on the show last week. We're expecting to see his happy ass up there, right? So, but we'll be doing a show there. Maybe do a little collaboration there with Ben Brost and his gang. So, Fast Lane Motorsports and Powder Coating. Changa, you're stud, you're dud.
Well, stud, I'm going to go with Dexton Cook. 5 straight wins, 4 this past week. He won at KRA, Princeton twice, and Rice Lake. We'll keep it short. Dexton Cook, stud of the week. My dud, I'm going to go with Kurt Myers, all right? So he only raced twice last week. Could have went to Rapids and faced off against the guy that's next in line behind him in the national points, right? No, I'll just stay home and let him go up there and win, right? All right, well, then he goes to Rice Lake. He was leading. I think he was leading the race, right? But he ends up third, and he lost to two. Yeah, he started. I think he started on the pole. He lost to a guy that started 14th and a guy that started 11th. So third place, throw-out show. Then the next night, he DNF'd the heat, loaded up, and went home. So waste of a weekend for him. And meanwhile, the guy that's right on his tail, wins 3 nights in a row. And objects in your mirror are closer than they appear.
Tied. They're tied too. Shane Zabrowski, my stud of the week, right? He unloads that super stock, you're in trouble. It just is what it is. You're in trouble. And he 3 straight wins. He doubled up in the mods and supers at the Wissota Classic and both days of the Labor Day shootout. He's now tied for the national point lead with Kurt Myers. Man, oh man. Dexton Cook, like you said, peaking at the right time. I think that he's too far out to maybe make a viable run at this deal, but he is Dairyland Dash. They had pretty good car count over there, so we're at invitational time here. If you're not going to win the national championship, a good substitute is going out and win some invitationals. Kurt Myers, definitely the dud, but how about like Jake Radetsky? I mean, he didn't race anywhere. He lives in frickin' Menominee. Rice Lake's got a good paying show.
Jesse
Radetsky. Yeah, Jake didn't race either. Neither one of them. They must have went to the lake, cuddling, golfing. I don't know what they were doing, right? But it's invitational season. Why? I don't understand why some of these people leave their cars parked for invites, right? That pay real money, but they'll be like all gung ho to race for $400. I don't understand it, right? I just don't get it. So that would be my dud right there. Midwest mods or sport mods, if Bert happens to have some sport mods over there.
I have a sport mod stud. He only had a 12th place finish this last week at Shawano, but he clinched his first ever track championship, Dustin Woodstruck. And he claimed that championship by winning 0 features during the year. So it was a year of consistency, and congratulations to him.
Nice. We've won a couple that way. In the mods, I won one at Hibbing that way. So Andy Gramalo won one that way in Superior this year. All right, Midwest mods there, Changa.
Stud of the week, I'm going to go the 40D of Blake Adams. Won both days at Rice Lake. Drove by Joey Jensen to win the second day. So Blake Adams, my stud of the week. Now this is the guy.
He sure did. From 7th.
Right. So my dud of the week, I'm going Andy Davey. All right. I picked him both days in Hibbing in our Pick'ems contest. And because quite honestly, the last 2 nights, he looked like the fastest car up there. He goes out there, rewards me with a strong 9th and an 8th and 0 points in the Pick'em contest. So he's my dud of the week.
I picked him on night number 2. They had a hell of a car count. I did not know where some of these guys were going, and they had B-Mod Bedlam that got canceled. The next thing you know, you got Jake Smith there, and David Simpson comes to Grand Rapids, and Tyler Vernon's in the house. You're like, holy shit, this is a who's who. I mean, we got some stacked Midwest mods here. Blake had a great weekend. Tyler Vernon had a stellar weekend. A first, and a second on the weekend, and took over the national point lead from Joey Jensen. I did not know where he was going to go. I literally, we were predicting he's going to Greenbush. I figured for sure he was going to Greenbush. He did not. He came over to Hibbing. He parked it in Victory Lane, and he got second, a late charge to second on night number 2. That was also a keeper because they had over 40 D mods up there. So that was a really good weekend for him. That national point battle is really, really good. I got to be honest with you. All the most of them, right? Late models is kind of a runaway. Mods are tied. Supers are tied. Midwest mods is like 2 points. Street stocks is mostly a runaway, but Gresseth is kind of there, and Dykhoff, if he raced more, would be there. Freaking Mod 4s is like 2 points. Hornets is like 6 points. I mean, we got some national point battles this year. This is actually pretty cool stuff. J Money, Jake Smith keeps cashing in. I mean, if there's a big paying Midwest Mod Show and he's there, he's going to contend. Last lap deal. You look at the racing in the Midwest Mods, night number 1 in Hibbing, Mikey Blevins threw a slider to take the lead, got crossed over with just a couple to go. So a hell of a race between him and Vernon in the closing laps. Night number 2, Jake Smith, a little right side romance with David Simpson on the last lap to get it done. Good Midwest mod racing action up at the Hibbing Speedway. Also want to give a shout out former pit guy Eric Anderson. Nice solid top 5 finish on night number 2. Bert, little luck on his side. He spun out. He screwed up in the heat race. Ensuing restart, the seas parted and he drove all the way up to 3rd after spinning out. Started him close to the front. Nice solid top 5 for him. The dud of the week's got to be Joey. Winless weekend. You're leading national points. Winless weekend over Labor Day weekend. That's a tough one to swallow right there. Should have came north. I get it. Super stock car owner wanted him to go to Rice Lake. Should have said, sorry, dude, gonna have to get somebody else to drive the car if you don't want to come up to Hibbing, because he's freaking good he's good everywhere. It's not like he had a terrible weekend, but he might look back if Vernon goes on to win the points. He might look back at this weekend and be like, should have went north. Should have went north.
Will they both go to Superior and race head to head this week?
I'm gonna guess probably. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. There's 3 races at Superior. There's 2 at Grand Forks. Wilmer races on Friday, so that's a possibility also. Madison races Sunday, so they could do. Technically, they could run Superior Thursday, Friday, Saturday, go to Madison on Sunday. That's probably what they should do. So I guess we'll find out here this weekend. Stock cars or street stocks, Bert?
Okay, first I have a shout out because a driver that people in Western Wisconsin and Minnesota should know. Kyle Jeanette made the trip to Outagamie Speedway on Friday. Started 8th in the street stock feature and parked it in Victory Lane. So made the trip worthwhile for him. But the stud of the week, I'm going with stock car driver Brett Wenzel. He finished 3rd in the feature at the Hill and Sturgeon Bay on this past week, and he clinched the track championship by 6 points, and it is his 6th straight track championship at the Hill in Sturgeon Bay. So quite an accomplishment there. And then this is just another driver, Dan Machonsky. He's been on the dud list this year. He won the championship at Shawano Speedway in stock car division, and he put an emphasis on it by winning the feature on Fair Night, his first feature win of the year.
Nice. Got any duds?
No.
Bert doesn't want to get anybody heated up. Bert, he put Weddlestead on the dud list. He goes on and wins. It took him a while, but he got it done finally.
Yeah. All
right, Changa, street stocks.
This week I'm going to go, I don't know, my stud of the week, I'm going to go Maria Brooksick. 9 straight top 3s with 5 wins, 3 seconds, and a 3rd in that span. Got 3rd at Brown County, 1st at Casino, and 2nd at Madison this past week. you know, kind of kicking it into a little bit of a higher gear here lately, kind of what we expected all year, you know, but it's coming around now. Consequently, this guy, my dud is going to be Jaden Bowe or Bogue, however you pronounce that. Since August 16th, he's only raced 4 times, got 3 DNFs and a DNS. So he's had some good stretches of wins and podiums this year, but it's been on the struggle bus lately. So I'm gonna go with him for my dad.
Okay. Speed stock. So there's 2 drivers right now that have been just absolutely on fire. And no, it's not Colton Brower. Cole Gresseth, 3 wins this weekend, 4 straight. Kyle Dykoff, 3 wins this week, 4 straight. I mean, those 2 drivers right there. I mean, the street stocks, I'm thinking the sites is going to have the street stock group at the sites is going to be good. But I'm looking forward to the Wissota 100 guys in just a couple weeks. And holy shit, is that class absolutely stacked. I mean, Cole Gresseth has a legit shot. I don't remember exactly what he's at, like 25-ish, 26 maybe. He has a legit shot to win 30 plus feature wins and not win a national championship. They take your best 30 shows, Bert. He has a legit chance to have 30 wins and not win the Natty. And the only reason is because car counts, right? Colton Brower's gone up to Thunder Bay, got some 58-point shows. Gresseth needs to win some specials here at the end of the year, right? He needs to win at the 100. He needs to win at the sites this weekend. He needs to get some wins to 26 plus. He can do it. If Gresseth can stack some wins here, could he possibly track down Brower? He's still a ways back, but I'm telling you, it's not as far outlandish as you might think. What do you got there, Changa?
Is he one of them guys that, you know, we've seen this in years past? Is he one of them guys, say he goes to Wissota 100, wins day 1? Does he pass on it so he can race again?
I think it all depends what happens this week, right? So if he goes out to the sites this week and doubles up, if he wins both nights of the sites, and all of a sudden he's looking at it and he's doing the math, and the math is saying you can catch him, then maybe. Then he might do it. So I think it's going to depend, but there's very few. Boy, that's interesting. With the points battle this tight, there might be some of these drivers that win night 1, and then they're like trying to win a national championship here. I need to stack some points. It's going to be very interesting to see. That is for sure. That's a very valid point. My dud of the week though is Wissota. Okay. My dud of the week. In fact, I got to give a donkey award. I don't know specifically who to give the donkey award, but here's what happened, Bert. A driver by the name of Colton Schuler races down at Wilmer, Montevideo, and Madison, Minnesota. Okay. The last 3 years, this driver raced, they have a local pure stock class, non-sanctioned pure stocks. Won a bunch of races in that pure stock class, right? Decides this year, I'm going to go ahead and move on up to Wissota sanctioned street stocks. And he's rattled off a few wins, leading the rookie of the year battle. Okay. Seems like a pretty legit deal. Pure stocks moving up to street stocks. That makes sense to you, right? Following me here? Okay. Couple weeks back, very recently, don't know exact timetable, somebody complained that, well, their pure stocks aren't Wissota pure stocks, and they're faster and they're more similar to a street stock. Well, somebody in Wissota decided to take away his eligibility for Rookie of the Year honors. They didn't. Unwritten rule. This is another unwritten rule. Okay. Had they made this decision at the beginning of the year that those pure stocks are almost the same, I don't know the rules. I don't know the rules. But even if they're the same car, which I don't think they're not the exact same car, okay? But even if they're close, going from pure stocks to Wissota sanctioned street stocks is a move up.
Rookie.
The level of competition in a Wissota street stock far exceeds the pure stock division at those 3 tracks. It ain't even on the same stratosphere. Anybody that goes to frickin' Wilmer, right, looks at the street stocks and you're like, you got Tourville and Brower and Vogel, and you got all these guys you race. Yeah. I mean, it's like, holy shit. I mean, this is an absolute move up. Okay. And for them to decide in the middle, towards the end of the season, well, you're no longer eligible. This is bullshit. They got to do the right thing here and be like, look, we looked at it. There's no rule against this. They got to reinstate his rookie status, and it's very unfortunate. You know, it's just there was no reason for it, and I had people reaching out, and I never met the kid. I don't know the kid, okay? But I had people reaching out, and I don't know that this is the case or not, right? But there's speculation out there that, well, sure, the kid that's leading it now, he races Princeton and Ogilvy. Well, I mean, half the people involved with Wissota are from that area. Of course, they're going to make it in favor of that kid winning it. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't. But them taking away his rookie status when it's a clear move up, especially in level of competition, very unfortunate situation.
Do we even know if this is true? Have we confirmed this through anybody? I mean, that just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's and to the best of my knowledge, so the promoter at Montevideo is a Wissota board member as well, and I believe that promoter is going to bat saying this is bullshit. Like, so to the best of my knowledge, that's happening. Like, it sounds like there's some internal strife on this deal. Hopefully they get it right. Let's jump on over to Grassroots. Bert. Puka times 2. We're going to talk about him in just a minute here.
Well, I just it is almost 10 after 8.
Thank you. I got a draft. Oh, we're doing pretty good. We're doing good. All right, Changa, Grassroots.
Grassroots, real quick. Stud of the week, Tony Jensen. He had 3 wins last week, 2 at Princeton, and a huge head-to-head battle win against Roner down in Madison. He was also kind of in the hunt at that Viking special where he ended up falling back to 7th late. Wanted to give a shout out, Cade Nelson. He's won 4 of 5. In the fifth one being a 3rd place finish. He's got 3 in a row in the last 2 weeks. So them are my studs of the week. My dud is going to be Bobby Arnis. Last 2 races, he's got a 19th and 11th. That was on August 16th and 17th. All right. He was top 5 in the points and kind of right there, and then he just stops racing while the top guys are just out there still winning. So that Bobby Arnis.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure what happened there, but he hasn't been out there in a little while. So I got to give a shout out here. Remember Andy Hoftag, our boy, pitted for us for a little while. He raced Super Stocks, of course. You know Andy. So his boy Hoftag, first career podium finish, got 3rd night number 2 in the USRA late models over at Rice Lake for the Dairyland Dash. Best finish of the year, trending up, ton of wins in the go-karts. I'm looking forward. You remember, of course, Dick Bogie, Greg Bogie. That would be a grandson to them. So looking forward to seeing Clayton Hoftag progress through the ranks and get some wins here. Brady Faso doubling up in the 27 in the Hornet division at the Labor Day shootout. Guys, there is roughly 6 points in between Tony Jensen, Jeff Roner, Brady Faso for the national title race in the Wissota Hornet division. That one is also coming down to the wire. But my stud of the week, $4,060 payday. Historic event, biggest payday ever in the history of the Wissota Hornet division. The hitman, Matthew Dittman, getting it done, the Dustin Verkus Memorial, night 2 over at the Viking Speedway, the high-flying half mile. Incidentally, got to give a shout out to our boy Coach. He finally won a heat race.
Just going to do that.
Can't redraw. He started 8th and bailed both features, and I think he got 7th. But Dittman getting it done, and that was a good race. Roner got 2nd, like you said. Jensen, I think, was like 3rd on a restart and slid back. I think he probably went for it and faded. But man, oh man, I got to give a shout out, Bert, to Wissota. So get this. So Dittman goes on to win it. Comes across Tech, DQ'd. $4,060 payday in a Hornet, DQ'd at Tech. Oh boy. So Kraus is over there. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? DQ'd. Power steering belt fell off. Power steering belt fell off. DQ'd. What are we talking about? So a couple of years ago, they decided, oh, we got to have the power steering back on because a lot of them took them off, right? And the Tech guy was going off the rules that if it falls off, DQ'd, right? So they call up Wissota and they call up a couple different people. Finally, they got a hold of the head of Wissota Teching, who's Todd Good, and I'm going to give a hat tip right there to Todd Good. Job well done here, doing the right thing. Okay, he said there is no fucking way that we're going to disqualify a Hornet because they didn't have a power steering belt on. In no way, shape, or form is that the power steering pump was there. That's not an advantage, right? And they overturned the DQ, gave the kid the win, and I believe that was the right thing to do. So thank you, Todd Good. Thank you to Wissota for getting that one right and not ruining what was an unbelievable great event by the Verkus family. I didn't know Dustin. I know he's a former national champion, but they, in a very short order, the Viking Speedway, and several people put together a hell of a payday for the biggest ever Hornet payday in Wissota racing. So very cool deal. My dud, Puka, right? So he freaking coached Brady Fossil in hockey, right? And like literally, you'd be like, and Brady, like he's our boy. Like we want to see him win. He's got one to go show sticker on the car. And Fogle, you leave him the fuck alone. All right, I'm just telling you right now. Just because that sticker's on the car, you be nice to him. There's gonna be problems. Saw what Sheldon did. Shit's gonna come down. But he goes on. He wins both nights. Night number one, he wins. I'm like, Puka, did you watch a good race last night? He's like, oh, I didn't stick around. I was tired. I'm like, you turning into fucking Bert? Like you just leaving in the middle of races? Need a nap? Like what are you doing? So Puka, I mean, Hornets put on the best race. You got to stick around for them. That's good racing right there. So I got to pick on our boy Puka. So let's jump into the Natty trivia. Last week, our Changa got it right last week. He beat me on that. So I'm at 7. Changa's at 4. Bert's at 1. I don't even. Who was it last week? Who? You got it right.
Was it Kuyav? No, it was Harlstead.
Yeah, it was Harley. Yeah, it was Harley. Paul Harlstead. So first, a shout out to East Central Sports. So East Central Sports, based in Rush City, Minnesota, just north of the Twin Cities off of I-35. They are your number one source for pit bikes, kids, ATVs, golf carts. Got some pretty cool ones, and Toro lawnmowers and a whole lot more. You want to get a hold of them, give them a call, 320-358-1994. Check them out online at www.eastcentralsports.com. Let them know that you heard about them on the One to Go show. They sponsor a lot of stuff. Mac is very heavily involved with racing. Thanks a lot, Mac, for all you do. That's East Central Sports. Guys, I'm going to turn my screen off here, okay? And what I'm going to have to do is I have my notes. It's my turn to give the clues for the national championship trivia. Can you guys hear me good? I know you can't see me, but that shouldn't affect anything here. So bear with me for 1 second here. All right. Let me scroll back to my notes here. All right, here we go. Okay. So this driver has over 500 feature wins, probably closer to 550. I do not have an exact number. This driver started racing in 1998.
What?
1998. So that's over 500 plus feature wins in a relatively short period of time. His brother also races. His brother has no national championship championships, but does have some track championships to his name. This driver became the first driver to win a national championship after his dad previously won a national championship. This driver in 2005 had 38 feature wins in 2005. At a racetrack that year, he won 13 in a row, and that track put a bounty on him, and that bounty got up to $800 before somebody finally beat him.
Aho?
My dad does not have a national championship, so that's one
I
incorrect.
thought you said you didn't. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's one incorrect.
Never mind.
This driver went to school for welding. This driver was pretty frustrated. In 2006, his win total got cut in half due to Wissota going to the point average lineup system across all of Wissota in 2006, and he had to start 12th pretty much everywhere that he raced.
Ooh. God.
In 2005, the year that he won 38 feature wins, his dad finished second to him 18 times that year.
Fuck.
This driver was born in 1978. This driver has won, I believe, 2 Wissota 100s.
God, I am just totally
2009, 2022.
Dustin Strand?
That's a good guess, but that is also incorrect.
Oh my fuck.
Both of these Wissota 100 wins came in the Midwest Mod division. This driver has 4 Wissota Midwest Mod national championships: 2004, 2011, 2013, 2015.
Travis Sauer.
My next clue was going to be he won the 2012 10,000 to win Bayman B-Mod Nationals at Mississippi Thunder. He won the 2012 Mod Nationals at the Viking Speedway. And then I was going to get into where it was probably going to get easier. He was a bull rider and a bareback rider. And in 1997, he was thrown from a bull in Colorado, broke his nose in 8 places, and decided to race after his dad prompted him to do so. He did go on to rodeo 1 more year. First 2 years he ran a Mod 4, took 2 years to get a win. That would be the cowboy, Travis Sauer. Yeah, hell of a race car driver. So good job, Changa, on that one. So, Bert, what do we got?
20 after 8.
What? Okay. All right. So we're getting close. And I guess if I have to turn the screen off for a minute, bear with me. So our pick'em standings right now, I'm leading away. So congratulations, Man Bun Dan. He won the week last week. Uper got second. I have an 11-point lead over Bert, a 24-point lead over Changa.
It's not accurate.
Rainman is up to
that
4th.
is not even close to accurate.
14. My bad.
Did you send out the
24
results? Or
yeah, I did.
Did you post
544 to 543 to 530? Yeah, they're in the group. I'll send them to you personally, but
okay, all right.
Yeah, in the 8,000 text messages. So it's me, Bert Changa, 14, not 24, 14. You had a big week last week. You caught me a bunch last week. Governor at 5th, Dano at 6th, 1 point behind Governor. Coach is at 7th and sliding. Uper's only 1 behind him. Tardy's goal this week is to try to catch him. So the races we're picking this week: the Boone Super Nationals, Northern Nationals at the Gondikla Speedway, the John Seitz Memorial, the Tuscarora 50 for the high limit sprint cars up at Port Royal, the North Star Nationals for the USRA Modifieds at Mississippi Thunder, World of Outlaw Sprint Cars at Vado, in the Wissota MPH Mod 4 Pure Stock Hornet Invitational at the Granite City Motor Park. So our bold predictions had a few come off the board. Bert, you had 2. You said you were close on what you thought you predicted on gravel, but according to our statistician, Jeff, you said gravel would go winless this week. And he did, so you got that correct.
Oh, okay.
You ain't gonna argue that.
It.
You ain't gonna argue that. And you also said that Rico Abreu would have 2 or more podiums and one or more win. He had 3 wins. That's a grand slam. That's what's winning time trials, heat, and feature right there for Bert. I had 1 come off the board. I said there was going to be 3 total B mains between the Wissota Classic and both days of Labor Day. Hell, there was 4 at Hibbing just in the B mods alone. So I think there was 7 total B mains, which I'm glad to be wrong on that. Car count was better than expected. Uper had 2 come off the board. He said the Blevins family would sweep the Midwest mod features between Rapids and Hibbing. They went winless. They ran well. They did have some good runs, but they went winless. And he said Shane Sobraski would win 33% or more of his features this weekend. And I like his predictions he had before, where he had to win 1 in each class also, because he did not win 1 in the late model, but it was like 40-ish% that he got done.
It was like 40.
And Changa, yeah, it was a bunch.
It was way over.
You won a bunch. Changa, you said that Joey Jensen would have 3 or more wins this week combined between his Midwest mod and Super Stock.
How big 0?
That would be 0. That would be 0. So we keep track of correct predictions and correct percentage. Changa's leading the way in both. They were
only
you had
one
nothing else that came off the board this week. Oh no, yep, only 1 off the board. So Changa is leading at 22. I'm tied with Uper at 17. Bert's at 13, making up some ground though with 2 correct predictions this week. Changa's at 43.1% correct. Uper at 30. I'm at 38.6. Uper at 32.7, and Bert at 30.2. All right, so here we go, boys. Let's make 3 predictions here each. Bert, I guess I have an alarm that's going to go off at any minute here too. So when it does, I'll have to turn that off. But I'll be back. So we're going to go Bert, Changa, Uper, me. We'll make 3 predictions. What do you got?
I am going to go IMCA Super Nationals, and I will say 3 Wisconsin drivers, any division, will finish in the top 10 in the dance features.
So you get 3 out of the top 10 in 1 division. Don't matter which division.
Yeah.
So there's mods, stock cars, sport mods, and hobby stocks. Those 4.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there won't be any hobby stocks from Wisconsin, but
okay.
So stock car mods and sport mods.
So 3 total top 10 between the 3 classes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought he said 3 total in 1 class at the main event.
No, 3 total. 3 total. There's a shit ton of cars. That's a lot of cars. All right, Changa.
I'm going to go to Boone, and I'm going to say we're picking the stock cars, the modifieds, the sport mods, and the hobby stocks, right? I'm going to say in one of them, the main event in one of them 4 classes, not one of the 13 people in our pick'em contest will pick the winner.
In any of the 4?
No, I'm saying one of the classes, don't matter which one of them,
okay.
None of us will pick the winner.
Okay, I gotcha. So, yeah, out of any one of the 4 features, one of those 4, at least one of those 4, yeah, at least one of those 4, we will not have picked the winner. All right, so Uper's got, he calls it the mini money grab, the MPH, the Wissota 100 for the grassroots classes. So according to my race pass stats, the current national point leaders are Tony Jensen in the Hornets, Dustin Puffy in the Piers, Dean Larson in the Mod 4s. That's according to my race test today as we're doing the show. 2 of those 3 current national point leaders will win the MPH Invitational.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the Boone Super Nationals myself. Top 3 classes: modifieds, stock cars, sport mods. In the top 10 combined, so that's 30 different drivers, there will be a minimum of 10 different states represented in the top 10 with those 3 classes combined. A minimum of 10 states represented. All right. Bert, your second one.
I am going to go to the Sites Memorial and say between the late model division and the mod division, TPO will have a better average finish than Dustin Strand. And
TPO in which division? The modified?
In both divisions.
Okay, the modified and late model division at the sites.
You
TPO.
combine both divisions together.
Yep. Okay. I like it.
That includes the prelude to the Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like 3 nights of racing out there. All right, Changa.
I'm going to go to the sites and I'm going to go TPO as well. And I'm going to say TPO will win at least one feature in the mod and the late model out there.
TPO will win at least 1 in the mod and at least 1 in the late model. Huh. I don't think that's very much of a bold prediction, but that's okay. We'll give it to you, I guess.
Not easy to win.
All right. So Uper's second prediction, he's going to go high limit sprint cars here. Pennsylvania Posse will win 50% or more of the races at Port Royal this weekend. At least 2 of the races need to happen. So if only one happens, obviously don't count. So the PA Posse will win 50% or more of the high limit races this weekend. I am going to go with SOTA National Championship point battles, not according to my race pass stats, but of course, according to actual what they are finishing the weekend. Okay. After this weekend, in the Midwest mods, Joey Jensen will be the point leader. In the super stocks, Kurt Myers will be the point leader. And I'm going to say that they're tied as if they're tied at the end, he has to be the sole point leader. Joey Jensen and Kurt Myers this weekend will be leading national points after this weekend. I'm not going to go on the record in the modifieds because I don't want to jinx my boy Blake Adams. All right. Bert, your third and final prediction.
I am going to go to the World 100, and I am going to say that the winner is going to be a first-time winner for that race.
I like it.
Huh. All right.
Kind of screwed up my next pick, so my pick don't sound as bold when you say that. I'm going to scrap that one then. We'll make a new one up.
All right. What do you have for your second one, or your? I guess
I'm
we're
gonna
on our
go,
third
then
one.
I'm going to go to Port Royal, and I'm just going to say no podiums for the PA Posse at Port Royal, no matter how many races happen.
No podiums for the PA Posse this week. Okay. So Uper thought he was going to get sniped, so he added to it. He also said first-time winner at the World 100, but the podium will have at least one non-Longhorn to go along with that.
My other one was going to be Pierce or JD. Neither one of them will win.
Okay. So I am going to go to the sites, and I am going to say, I'm going to do a little parlay here to close this thing out. Okay. I am going to go Parker Anderson wins at least one in the streets. Matt Scow wins at least one in the Midwest mods. Joe Thomas wins at least one in the modifieds. And best average finish between the two nights, the Prelude and the Sites Memorial, for that part of it to count, it has to be, they both have to happen. Rain can't alter it. The best average finish will be Dustin Strand. So Parker
everybody
in
there,
the late models. So I have 4 classes here. So three of those things will happen regardless. The fourth one, obviously, you have to have both races. Well, actually, you know what? You don't, because I'm predicting Strand to win. So I'm just going to go straight across the board.
we know who he's
Parker
taking.
Anderson wins at least one. You do. Parker Anderson wins at least one. Matt Scow wins at least one. Joe Thomas wins at least one. Dustin Strand, your best average finish in the late models between the two nights. So there you have it. There we go. Episode number, whatever the heck that was, number 274 in the books. I got to get back to my draft here, boys. As always, I'm Ryan. That's Changa. That's Bert. Thanks for tuning in to the One to Go show, and good luck, everybody, this weekend.
Thank you.